Welcome to a bonus Greater WAAAGH. I am your host Gersh1. I'm not here with the Sound Alchemist, but what happened is normally on a regular week we post 3 Greater WAAAGH videos. Those are the Q&A videos. The first one that we posted, we only answered 1 question. So that meant that there was a bunch of you viewers that left comments and they weren't answered, so I wanted to go back and answer them for you. It's just me, so the Sound Alchemist is not here, but I can try my best to give good answers, I guess. Starting with Matt. If the Big E tried to kill the Primarchs, how would he do it? And if he failed, would more turn to chaos or just accept it? First, let me talk about the theory of the Emperor's goal being to kill off his Primarchs. So, the Emperor's main goal of the Great Crusade was to have humanity control the galaxy and basically let normal, everyday humans like you and I take control of the Imperium. And the Space Marines and the Primarchs were just a means to an end. Very similar to the Thunder Warriors during the Unification War. When the Emperor was trying to unify Terra and kill all of the techno-barbarian warlords, he created these enhanced warriors called Thunder Warriors, and then at the end of the Unification War, he sent them all out to die, basically. And then they finally... a couple of them survived. I have a 40 facts video on that. I'll put a link up above to that. But the same thing is theorized is what would happen to the Primarchs. So if the Emperor wanted to kill the Primarchs, he would kill them the same way that he killed the Thunder Warriors, which is kind of just like sending them out into some type of basically a quest that they could never return from, which is kind of what happened anyways with a lot of the loyalists going into the webway and never coming back. So a potential way to kill off the Primarchs is to send them into the Immaterium. Another one is just let them kind of keep fighting and pursuing different campaigns and crusades until eventually one of them dies. Now, if there was like an actual plan to almost like like in Star Wars, like Order 66, like if that happened, then the Primarchs would definitely turn against the Emperor. There'd be some that wouldn't. I feel like Sanguinius would accept it. Maybe... I think Sanguinius is really the only one that would accept it. But like the death of the Primarchs would definitely make them want to fight the Emperor, because even when like the Emperor decided to pass off his control over to the Imperial army and also Horus, the Primarchs got a little bit butthurt that like now they were taking orders from these regular old humans. So the same would probably be the same would happen if the Emperor wanted to conclude the Great Crusade and say, everything that you guys worked for, I'm talking about the Primarchs, everything that they've worked for is now being handed over to humanity, and these like simple like planetary governors are going to take over the planets that most of your battle brothers died for. So I don't think that would go over very well. Good question. Yeah. Next one comes from Timothy Armstrong. How do Necrons on a tomb world decide to awaken? What's the trigger for their awakening? We have a 40 facts video on it, so there's a process. It's the canoptic constructs or scarabs, or basically the canoptic creatures that start to initiate the awakening protocol, and it goes from the regular you could think of them as kind of like defending janitors that start the awakening process, and then finally at the very end is when the Overlord is awakened and the tomb world is fully active. So there's a whole process to it. Next question comes from the big one. When I was going to school, all the kids would wear their backpacks using 1 strap. I would also use 2 straps. I would always use 2 straps, which is cooler. The 2 straps is cooler. I think we talked about this in a previous one. Next question comes from Rafur Raman. If the next thing that Call produced revealed is an STC, what political ramifications do you think that would lead to? Not very much, just because Belisarius Call is a G. Like, he is super high ranking. He's not technically a High Lord of Terra, but he operates like one. He would probably have Guilliman help him reveal the STC, how he did with the Primaris, because the Primaris are really like sanctioned by Guilliman, so that would happen, but ultimately I don't think that much could be done to someone as powerful as Belisarius Call. Next question comes from Lamac and Cheese. Can Gersh do the intro next time and then the Sound Alchemist do the outro? Oh, yeah, we'll do that next time. I think we answered that before too. The next one comes from BD112. Has humanity naturally evolved in some way in the 38 to 40,000 years that it has passed from the present? Did scientific advancements halt natural evolution? If natural pressures have created things like abhumans on individual worlds, have normal humans lost their pinky toes or wisdom teeth at some point, or even more or less? So, let me answer that one real quick. Yeah, that's what kind of abhumans are. Voidborn are very similar. So, natural selection still happens within different environments that exist in 40K, which is why you get some really odd-looking people. Mutation is also, like, the main thing that messes up the regular human stock. But there is a department dedicated to making sure that the genetic purity of humanity doesn't like get too crazy. I don't know if one of the requirements is to have all 5 pinky toes or something like that, but there definitely is requirements that need to be met for humans not to be considered mutants or abhumans, and if the population is like that, entire basically genocides occur, and then they bring in new populations from a different hive world that's not mutated or doesn't have that type of infection. But at the same time, that situation would be rare within the Imperium, because you have to remember that the way it works is that planetary governors have control over their planet. So if a planetary governor is okay with a certain type of deviation from the natural human stock, it won't become an issue until an inquisitor finds out, or somebody above the planetary governor says something, which usually means that there is some type of agency going into the planetary governor's domain, and that's usually not good. So again, just usually inquisitors. You have a follow-up. Did the Big E design the Primarchs to have those vestigial constructs, or are they leading the way on the genetic front too? I don't know. The anatomy of each Primarch I don't think has been talked about in the lore that much. At least not that I've read. Just like the basic stuff, like the skin color, the color of your eyes, the height, things like that, but nothing too detailed. Next question comes from J-Day. What happened to Fulgrims Soul? Is it trapped, set apart from the demon itself, or has it been fully corrupted? Fulgrims Soul is, I'm pretty sure, at this point, corrupted. He is the demon Primarch, and everybody talks about him as, like, just that. Like, he is the demon. And remember, if you check out our 40 Facts and Lore on, I think it's Lysanor? No. Rylanor. Yeah, check out our 40 Facts and Lore on Rylanor. You see how it is Fulgrim who is within the body of that demon prince. So it's not like the whole he got trapped in a painting or a sword or things like that. No. It is Fulgrim. It is demonic Fulgrim, and him looking at Rylanor, remembering him, talking to him, kind of like solidified the fact that like it is his soul that has been corrupted. It's interesting now because there is a loyalist Fulgrim out there doing some other things, and hopefully in the future we'll see like some type of interaction between loyalist Fulgrim and maybe Gilliman or something. Then we can have both Fulgrim Primarch, like the loyalist, to fight with, and then Fulgrim, the demon Primarch. And if that happened, I wonder what they would do, because they're not going to bring back the Emperor's Children as a Space Marine chapter, as a loyalist Space Marine chapter. So I wonder if Fulgrim would just take on, successor chapters of another chapter. Who knows what they're going to do. Next question comes from Angel Reyes. Did the Khan have his own bike pattern? If so, why not mass produce it? And how fast is it compared to the rest? Yes, he had a special bike, but it was a special pattern, so it was kind of mass produced. Like all elite weapons, like master crafted and stuff like that. There's a limited amount just because of resources. It was a pattern that predated the modern jet bike, and it wasn't even considered a jet bike. I think it was called a void ship or something like that, like a mini void ship. It had the potential of gliding through the air. That's how fast it was going, like, or flying through the air, I should say, like across the battlefield and stuff, which made it really, really maneuverable during void battles and void sieges. So that was kind of cool. But those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please leave them in the other Greater WAAAGH so we can answer them there. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the answers. I'll talk to you tomorrow. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first.